Markets perk up after the sell-off that was seen yesterday, and utilities as well as energy and industrials. These are the sectors that lead the recovery, while financials and FMCG lagged. Mid-caps outperform.
RBI asked Federal Bank and South Indian Bank to cease to issue of new co-branded cards. The lenders will continue to service existing card holders till the regulatory issues are resolved. Meanwhile, the Finance Ministry has asked PSBs to review their gold loan practices, sources tell CNBC-TV18.
Government announces an interim electric mobility promotion scheme for 2- and 3-wheelers with an outlay of 500 crore rupees for incentives. Tata Motors proposed 9,000 crore rupees capex in Tamil Nadu is also a big boost to the EV ecosystem.
And 15 Chinese smelters agree to copper output cuts, lifting the price of the metal in Shanghai to a 2-year high. The move follows copper concentrate conversion charges plummeting to a decade low.
Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar. With me, as always, is my co-anchor, Pavitra Parekh. So, Pavitra, after a couple of days of heavy sell-off and pressure that built on the market, today is the day of recovery. So, at the moment, take a look at Nifty 50. It's 0.8% up in trade, gaining about 170 points and recovered above 22,200 levels earlier, but now at 22,168 odd levels at the moment. Taking a look at the overall picture of the market, Sensex 2 has gained just shy of 500 points at the moment. Bank Nifty is far behind in terms of the recovery. HDFC Bank, the big boy, has got marginal gains in trade, and mid-cap universe, which saw the massive amount of sell-off, is now recovering at a higher pace, 1.5% up on mid-caps. Advance decline ratio in favor of the advances today because of the recovery, and Adani group of stocks, which had shed a lot of weight, a lot of value, are the ones in terms of percentage, some of the top gainers. On the flip side, some of the steel companies, the metal companies are the ones which are taking a bigger beating today, Pavitra.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, today is definitely a day when, things have turned quite the other way around. The advance decline, which yesterday had gone all the way to 1:24, today has come back quite well. So it's around 5:1. 5 stocks advancing for one which is in the red right now. So the mid-cap, small caps really coming back. Nisha was mentioning the Adani group of stocks, which were one of the big losers yesterday. So all of the losers are, really coming back today. So if you look at the PSU index, that is doing very well. I'm talking about the CPSE index, the PSE index. Names like SJVN, Hoodco really battered in trade yesterday. Those seeing big pops coming in trade today. The other space that, is seeing good moves are some of these smaller banks, right? So names like Bank of Maharashtra, for instance, seeing a very, almost 6% higher there. Canara Bank up around 3%. So things are definitely coming back. Of course, this is one day of a recovery that we're seeing, and also we did hit another lowish level pretty early in the day. So, we could still see some volatility, but at least for today, it's good to see that the fall has been arrested and the market has staged quite a smart recovery. But with this, we actually spoke to a whole host of market experts. We had Kotak Mahindra AMC's Harsha Upadhyay, as well as Bank of America's Raj Balakrishnan, on how they really look at the market setup right now. So listen in to what they had to tell us.
At this point of time, probably wherever we had seen excesses is the pocket that is correcting more than the overall market. So to that extent, some of the names that we like on a fundamental basis are yet to reach those levels where we could probably deploy all of this cash. Economic growth continues to be very strong. Corporate fundamentals continue to be strong. The only issue with the market was the high valuations. Clearly, the momentum is broken. The market breadth, as we have been seeing over the last couple of trading sessions, has turned really weak. And that shows that there is clearly nervousness across the market. Probably it's fair to say that we are unlikely to really pull back into newer highs immediately. But what's the time frame? It's really difficult to say.
If you look at the Indian market, be it on a 3-month basis or 1-year basis or 5-year basis or 10-year basis, it's delivered returns superior to virtually every market in the world. Even on a dollar-adjusted basis over the last decade, barring the US market, we are probably the best performing market in the world. So the fact is that the Indian economy is looking good, Indian markets are looking good. And, a phase of, if there's a correction for a week or two or even a couple of months, I don't think that changes the underlying trend.
All right, still bullish on the market. Some of those participants are considering that the long-term view looks positive. So Harsha as well as Raj also spoke on their preferred sectors going ahead and also about what the primary market condition could look like going forward. Take a listen.
We do have a couple of positions in our portfolios, and we continue to remain positive on the overall theme from a medium to long-term perspective. Yes, in the recent times, we have heard some issues in terms of capping of prices and how that's going to impact profitability or even the capacity expansion going forward, etc. So yes, in the very short term, probably this will remain as an overhang until we see a clear trend in terms of what's likely to happen on the regulatory front. This space has seen some of those news recurring every now and then, and to that extent, I think on the same news, we have seen stocks falling many a times in the recent times. So overall, this looks more or less at the bottom, given the high return ratios and how our volume growth is likely to continue on a secular way for this particular set of companies. We are positive on this space overall in many of our portfolios.
I think this year is going to see many more larger IPOs. And I would expect the total funds raised through IPOs this year to be significantly more than last year. Similarly, in terms of QIPs, last year was a great year for QIPs as well as for block trades. And I think I continue to see that trend continuing this year.
All right, so that is the call on the market. But with that, let's shift focus now and talk about some important news as well. Government data shows a sluggish pace of increase in MNREGA wages during the last 5 years. In fact, the actual wages are seen lower than notified in the wage rate. So Sapna joins us now to tell us more about this. Sapna.
Well, a close look at the wage notifications done by the Rural Development Ministry in terms of the Manrega wage rates, seems to indicate a growth, just around 5 to 5.5% in the 5-year period starting FY19 to FY24 in terms of the increase in the Manrega wages. So in FY19, the average wage rate was around 208 rupees per person, and that has now moved to around 272 odd rupees in the current financial year. So during this 5-year odd period, less than 65 rupees has been added to these Manrega wages, so to speak. The second element, of course, is also the fact that probably at the state level or at the Gram Panchayat level, workers are not getting the complete due in terms of what the government has notified as the wages. For example, the average wage rate per person per day in the current financial year is around 236 odd rupees in comparison to the 272 odd rupees average rate that has been already notified by the government. So there's a gap there as well. On both these accounts, probably going forward, the government may have to do some kind of rethinking or a revisit. There appears to be a very clear stagnancy in the Manrega wages, probably not even enough to cover rural inflation, particularly that has been very high post the Ukraine crisis, and food inflation had been above 8%. So these are some of the concerns the government will have to factor in. The next round of Manrega wage notification for FY25 is likely end of this month.
All right, Sapna, thanks so much for pointing that out, that the wage hike has to match up, at least if not exceed, the inflation. All right, moving on then, a pan-India opinion polled by News 18 across 242 seats shows that the NDA could likely garner a whopping 174 seats and a major chunk of the voter share in the upcoming elections. But all doesn't look too gloomy for the INDIA alliance either. In fact, my colleague Parikshit Luthra is right here to get us the key takeaways from the News 18 opinion poll in election season. Parikshit, tell us what it entails.
The Lok Sabha elections are just days away and News 18 has conducted a pan-India opinion poll to capture the mood of the nation. Now, before we reveal the details, here is the methodology. More than 118,000 people were polled across 518 Lok Sabha constituencies in 21 states. Essentially, the poll has covered 95% of the Lok Sabha constituencies in the country. Now, let's look at the projections in some of the key states, starting with the biggest prize of them all, Uttar Pradesh. Now, as far as the vote share projections go, across 80 seats in UP, we're giving 57% to the NDA as per our survey, 26% to the India Alliance, 9% to the Bahujan Samaj Party. Now, as far as the seats go and who's winning and who's not, 77 or a clean sweep for the NDA, 2 for the India Alliance and 1 for the Bahujan Samaj Party. Let's also look at the state-wise numbers across 242 seats which were surveyed. Let's get you the big numbers right here. Out of these 242 seats in Bihar, it is advantage NDA with 38 seats. Kerala, advantage the India Alliance with 18 seats. As far as the NDA goes, it is likely to open its account with 2 seats. As far as Madhya Pradesh goes, it is advantage NDA with 28 out of 29 seats. In Tamil Nadu, the survey suggests that yes, the BJP and the NDA may open its account, may do well with 5 seats. India Alliance holding sway in Tamil Nadu with 30 seats. In Haryana, a clean sweep for the NDA. Remember, Haryana is a state where the BJP has made a lot of changes in terms of Manohar Lal Khattar going to fight from Karnal Lok Sabha seat, Naib Singh Saini being made the chief minister. Let's talk about Punjab. Here it has advantage India Alliance with 8 seats out of 13 and 3 for the NDA. In Himachal, the survey is suggesting a clean sweep for the NDA and the BJP at 4. Delhi, this is a state where the BJP has changed 6 out of 7 candidates from 2019. And here we're told that it is an advantage NDA with 7 seats. Uttar Pradesh, this is the big prize, 77 or a clean sweep for the NDA out of 80 seats and just 2 seats for the India Alliance. So we've got you numbers for 242 seats and 174 seats is where the NDA has a big advantage and it seems to be winning right now. So this was the result of our survey on day 1. We will also be getting you numbers from the rest of the Lok Sabha seats this evening and the big national picture. So tune in for our special coverage at 7:30 p.m. this evening, where we will get you more analysis and a complete national picture at 9 p.m.
All right, Pariksha, thanks a lot for taking us through all of the highlights of that News 18 opinion poll as well. And like he was mentioning, you can tune in at 9 o'clock to get all of the details. But moving on now, BJP has also released its second list ahead of the Lok Sabha polls and announced the names for 72 constituencies. So Union Road Minister Nitin Gadkari is contesting from Nagpur. We have Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, who is making his Lok Sabha debut this time, and he will be contesting from Mumbai North. INB Minister Anurag Thakur will be the BJP candidate from Hamirpur again. Former Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat will be contesting from Haridwar. And former Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar is the BJP candidate from Karnal. 15 candidates out of the 72 in the second list are women. The BJP has so far announced names for 267 seats.
And staying with the news coming in from the election coverage, well, the high-level committee headed by former President of the country, Ram Nath Kovind, has submitted its report on One Nation, One Poll to President Murmu. Now, the Union Law Minister had appointed the committee in September of last year to make recommendations for holding simultaneous elections at all levels. The 8-volume report runs over 18,000 pages. The committee is likely to recommend a concrete model for one nation, one election instead of suggesting options for synchronizing the different poll cycles. 32 out of the 47 political parties which submitted their views supported simultaneous elections, and 80% of the respondents also supported simultaneous polls.
All right, so with all of those updates, we're now going to get into a short break. But on the other side, we're tracking some more very important news. The government has announced interim electric mobility promotion schemes for 2- and 3-wheelers with an initial outlay of 500 crore rupees as incentives. So we're going to bring you more on this on the other side.
is rising.
अब भारत की विकास यात्रा रुकने वाली नहीं है.
Watch PM Modi share his thoughts on India's emergence as a global power at this year's Rising Bharat Summit. Dream Sports presents News 18 Rising Bharat Summit in partnership with Hindustan Times, 19th and 20th March.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch. Now, the government has extended the EV incentives for 4 months beyond July. The Heavy Industries Ministry has launched a 500 crore incentive scheme for electric 2 and 3-wheelers and as well as e-rickshaws. So the Union Cabinet's nod is still awaited on the new scheme, but Parikshit is here to bring us all of the details on this. Parikshit.
Yes, the CNBC-TV18 news break has been confirmed. We had reported last week that the centre is going to extend the FAME 2 scheme by 4 months with a total outlay of 500 crore rupees. This is to make sure there is no disruption as a result of the FAME 2 scheme ending on the 31st March, and there is some amount of continuity. Now, the Ministry of Heavy Industries has indeed announced a 500 crore outlay for electric mobility for 4 months till 31st of July. This is a special electric mobility promotion scheme, the government is calling it, and this will be supporting only 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers for a limited time period of 4 months. We may see a larger electric mobility scheme of 12,100 crores once the election is over. So how will this 500 crores support electric mobility for 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers? Well, 3,33,000 electric 2-wheelers will be supported by this special scheme for 4 months. The total incentive has been reduced for 2-wheelers. So the maximum incentive per electric 2-wheeler has been reduced to 10,000 rupees from 22,000 earlier. In terms of electric 3-wheelers, the maximum incentive per vehicle is 25,000 for e-rickshaws and lower capacity E3-wheelers. For higher capacity E3-wheelers, the incentive has been capped at 50,000. Total outlay is 500 crores, and this will support electric mobility 2 and 3-wheelers for a 4-month period only.
All right. Thanks so much, Parikshit, for getting us those details. We'll slip into a short breather on Business Lunch. When we get back, we'll get you updates from the commodities market. As remember, copper is shining today. Prices hit 7-month high. We'll get you more details on the other side. Welcome back. You've tuned into Business Lunch. Let's put the spotlight on the commodities sector now. And 15 Chinese smelters agreed to copper output cuts, lifting the prices of the metal in Shanghai to a 2-year high. Now, stocks like Hindustan Copper are trading with healthy gains on the back of this particular development. Our commodities editor Manisha Gupta is right here and gets us up to speed with all that's happening in the copper world. Tell us, Manisha.
It's been strong gains for the copper prices on LME. It's trading at a 7-month highs, in New York at a 16-month highs, and in Shanghai at a 22-month highs. So across time zones in the world markets, it is trading at multi-month highs. The gains comes in on the back of very strong demand right now, and there are some supply disruption fears as well. So copper prices have gained up by 4% on week and 7% on month as well. If you look at the inventories, while they have seen a surge in Shanghai, but they have declined by 32% on LME. That has been supportive. The latest factor supportive is that 15 Chinese smelters, and this is really rare, have agreed to join together and cut production going forward. This is because when you look at the TC fees of making copper cathode from copper concentrate has really seen a very sharp decline. So last year it was $87. We started this year with $80 as well, and then it has seen a constant decline to nearly $19 in Feb and almost $12 in March, and currently trading at around $3 to $8 a ton. Markets do believe that this could slide further, and to protect those losses or to ensure that there is no more bleeding happening with smelters, this step has been taken. So near-term supply tightness, supply disruptions, decline in inventories are some of the factors that can continue to support copper prices going forward.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for getting us all of those details. On the back of that, you have stocks like Hindustan Copper, which are up 12% right now. But with that, we're going to wind down on this edition of Business Lunch. Thank you for tuning in. We have Mid-Cap Radar on the other side.